Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video here on iStarly TV. So we just got the announcement for the new TCG Pocket set that's coming out very soon. It's actually coming out, I think, actually less than a week from making this video. From the making of this video, it's coming out a week from yesterday. So in less than a week, we will have this brand new set. This is a big set or a large set. I don't know officially what they're called, but it's similar to like Genetic Apex or Space-Time Smackdown, where there's more than one pack to choose from. And there's about, I don't know, 200 or so new cards, which is pretty insane. And it is focused on Alola, it looks like. So I'm assuming most, if not all, of the EX Pokemon that we get in the set will be from Alola. And of course, we have a couple to talk about today. And a lot of the trainers and supporters will be from Alola as well. Obviously, that doesn't mean every single Pokemon in the set is going to be from Alola, because we had Genetic Apex, which had a couple of like 5th gen Pokemon and 2nd gen, etc. So it's not guaranteed that everything is going to be from Alola, but most of the cards will be from Gen 7, which is really exciting because that's a cool generation. And there's a lot of really awesome trainers, which we will talk about. Now, the first one I want to talk about that really caught my eye, because of course everyone's going to be talking about certain cards from the set here, but the first main one that I really wanted to talk about was actually Rayquaza EX or Rayquaza EX. I'm going to say Rayquaza. I'm not sure which one is right, but I'm going to say Rayquaza because Rayquaza sounds, I don't know, weird to me. But this is a promo EX, I believe, which is similar to Lapras EX or Cresselia EX from the past, where you kind of play an event to unlock it. And it's a really exciting card. It has Draco Meteor. First of all, it's a colorless basic EX, which means, of course, you can play it in any deck. We've seen in the past colorless basic EXs such as Arceus EX kind of dominate the meta. Obviously, I mean, Arceus is not like at the top of the meta right now, but there was a time where Arceus was, you know, the best deck in the game. And so, of course, having another basic EX that's really strong is potentially scary. So Draco Meteor, it requires 4 colorless energy. Rayquaza has 140 HP. And it says, one of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random 4 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 40 damage to it. So of course, this is reminiscent of Dragonite and Wugtrio EX. This type of effect is just getting better and better. Dragonite is a stage 2, and it requires like 2 different energy types and 4 energy, and it does 50 damage 3 times, which is a total of 150. This does 40 damage 4 times, which is 160 damage. So obviously the damage itself is less, but it does more instances of damage. So if they only have like one Pokemon in play, like let's say they have a Darkrai EX with a cape on it, this will knock it out, whereas something like Dragonite or Wugtrio would not. So yeah, there's some pros and cons here, but I mean, I think this is a really exciting card. We'll see if it ends up being playable. Again, I think it's the promo for the set, which in the past we had Lapras EX and Cresselia EX, which really never broke through, really never saw play. So we'll see if this follows that tradition or not. But again, the fact that it's colorless and you can play it in any deck, you can play it with Manaphy, you can play it with Dialga. There's so many options. So I'm excited for this card. Also, I think Rayquaza is just an awesome Pokemon, so it's really cool that we're getting a card for it in this game, which I was hoping for. Next, I want to talk about the 2 main EXs in the set. These are the 2 Pokemon that'll be the face of the packs. So there will be a Solgaleo and a Lunala pack. So similar to previous sets, more similar to Space-Time Smackdown, there will be obviously certain cards that you can only open in one pack or another. So of course, you're going to have to make those decisions as to which pack you're opening more often. With that being said, Solgaleo EX and Lunala EX are actually both Stage 2 EX Pokemon. I actually didn't see that at first. I thought they were basic because I just woke up and I saw the images from the trailer, so they weren't the best images. So I thought they were basic Pokemon, which would be insane, but they're not basic. They are Stage 2s, but we'll talk about Stage 2s in a second. So Solgaleo is a Steel type or Metal type. It has 180 HP. Lunala is a Psychic type. It has 180 HP. And Solgaleo's ability is Rising Road, and so Rising Road allows you to switch Solgaleo from the bench into the active spot once per turn, regardless of what your retreat costs are. So this is actually really cool. This is actually great with something like Druddigon, or I don't know, even like Snorlax or Skarmory, just anything that you can use to wall. A lot of decks, I mean, Druddigon is a perfect example of this. They'll kind of set up in the back with their bench. So you can set up Solgaleo, especially since this is stage 2. Find those evolutions, evolve it, and then once you have Solgaleo, you're able to very easily switch into it and do 120 damage for just 2 energy, and it only does 10 damage to itself, which once again, with 180 HP, that is nothing. 120 damage is not amazing though. I mean, with red, it'll knock out Darkrai, stuff like that, but that's not perfect. So there's definitely some strategy involved. It is a metal Pokemon though, and there's some cool metal support, notably something like Skarmory. Like when I saw this card, I first thought of Skarmory just because Skarmory is really good and I like it, but we'll have to see what its basic and stage 1 do, because if they're really weak, that could be rough. Like if Cosmoem, I think that's what its name is, or Cosmog, if Cosmog only has like 30 HP, that could be really scary, because of course it could just get knocked out by a Hitmonlee or something. So it'll depend on what those look like. Lunala EX, on the other hand, it has Psychic Connect. It's very kind of similar to what we've seen before. Once during your turn, you may move all psychic energy from one of your benched Pokemon to your active Pokemon. It says one of your benched psychic Pokemon to your active Pokemon, so your active Pokemon does not need to be psychic, but it probably will be. And then it has Lunar Blast for 3 energy, it does 100. This is not the most exciting. I mean, obviously people are going to be looking at that ability. This combos really well with Giratina, because Giratina can put energy onto itself, and then you can move all that energy onto your active, so that can be really strong. Yeah, so obviously everyone's kind of thinking about like a Giratina deck. You could also play Mewtwo and just set up with Giratina, use Lunala to move the energy onto Mewtwo, which can be really strong. Now that's a lot of setup, but I guess we'll get to the card right now. I mean, I wanted to talk about some of the Pokemon first, but we'll talk about the big card of the set probably, which is a new trainer card called Rare Candy. Rare Candy is going to massively change the meta. So Rare Candy, I think this is a card that exists in the real TCG, so people who play that are probably already familiar with this, but this is new to Pocket. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a Stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from this Pokemon, put that card onto the basic Pokemon to evolve it, skipping the Stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. So what this does is allows you to evolve your Charmander directly into Charizard. It allows you to evolve your Cosmog directly into Lunala, your Squirtle directly into Blastoise, etc. This skips those Stage 1 evolutions. And I mean, I just can't imagine a world where if you're playing at Stage 2, you don't play this card. This is going to be such a massive card. There are so many Stage 2 Pokemon. I mean, one of the common, very popular, very powerful decks right now is Meowscarada Magnezone, and this is perfect in that deck. I mean, it just expands so many possibilities, and it allows you to just kind of get some real strong power going early. Obviously, there are a couple restrictions which would prevent it from being absolutely broken, like you can't play it right away, but being able to, play Chimchar, put an energy on it, and then the next turn evolve it into Infernape and hit for 140 right away, that's pretty powerful. Like, there's just so many options, so many very strong Pokemon that are going to benefit from this. And I mean, yeah, this card is massive. I just cannot believe how good this card is going to be. And I guess that's why they felt, maybe if they felt like they were going to do Solgaleo and Lunala as the face cards of the set, and they were going to make them Stage 2s, they felt like they needed to buff Stage 2s, because otherwise these would see no play. Just because, I mean, they're strong cards, but like, it feels like there's just better things to be doing at Stage 2. A lot of people are talking about Charizard EX from Genetic Apex, or even Charizard EX from Shining Revelry, which are extremely powerful but require a lot of setup, and with Rare Candy, they require less setup. So this card is just going to massively, massively shift the meta. I almost can't believe that they are printing this. I mean, again, I know it exists in regular TCG, but I thought if something like this were coming, it would be a lot later in the game's life, but here we are. I mean, get your Stage 2s ready, everyone, and get ready to delete those Stage 1s. Now, that doesn't mean you'll always play, like, 0 Stage 1s. There might be situations where you're still okay playing, like, one Floragato, one Charmeleon, you know, one Magnet. I mean, for Magnezone, you need to play Magneton. That's kind of the whole reason that Magnezone works. But my point is, you know, there's just a lot of options here, and this is gonna really broaden a lot of things. I don't know, this is gonna be crazy, and I think people were always talking about how Stage 2s kind of needed a buff because they just felt like they took too much setup and they didn't do enough for what the cost was worth, and here it is. A couple other Pokemon cards. There's a Alolan Raichu, which looks pretty exciting too. This is a Stage 1. It has Psychic. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this card is actually pretty strong. We've had effects like this. I think one of the similar effects is like Alakazam. This is also pretty similar to like Gallade EX. The big difference is that this is a Stage 1 and it requires colorless energy to attack. So I think this will be a big player in the meta as well, depending on what decks are good. But if Charizard does end up being very good, like this can destroy Charizard. This is great against Giratina EX, which is very, very common right now. Like there's just a lot of cards. Gyarados EX for sure. There's a lot of cards that just take so much damage from Raichu. Oh, this is Raichu EX. I didn't realize it's an EX. I guess that makes more sense. I thought it was just Alolan Raichu, like just a regular card. But I mean, that makes sense. This is really powerful. So this is another one to have your eye on. Finally, there's Marowak, which is kind of exciting. I mean, Marowak, in true Marowak fashion, relies on coin flips, which can potentially burn the enemy. Although, burn is really strong, and we haven't had a really great burn card. So having this, I mean, obviously it requires coin flips, but if you can get even one heads, it'll burn the enemy. So it'll do effectively 90 damage to them, and then the next turn it'll do another 20. So this could be really strong at chipping away at them, and it's not an EX, so I don't know. I'd be excited to play Marowak. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. There's also a supporter that combos with it, but I'm actually going to make a separate video talking about the supporters, so be on the lookout for that one. I just wanted to talk about these really exciting cards, mostly Pokemon cards like the EXs, but also, of course, Rare Candy is a massive one. So thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon TCG Pocket videos. Of course, I'm going to be making a lot more videos. I was sick recently, but I'm getting better now, so I'm planning on making a ton of videos now, especially since this new set will be coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if the full set leaks like a day or two before, which has been happening more commonly with these new set releases. So when that starts to happen, of course, I'll be covering everything that happens. So let me know in the comments what you think of these cards. Do you think Rare Candy will break the meta? What are some cards that maybe aren't common that you're excited to use with Rare Candy? And also, do you think that it's overblown how broken people are saying Rare Candy is? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. I'm excited to read them. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be seeing you next time.